Greetings, all! Today, we'll be examining the relatively common ghost-type Pokemon Shuppet, the Puppet Pokémon, and its uncommon evolution Banette, the Marionette Pokémon. Creepy in appearance, and more than able to make others cry in fear and surprise when needed, the members of the Shuppet family are spectral fiends that prove that you should never air your negative emotions too much, or leave behind what is meant to be precious.
Shuppet have odd blanket-like bodies with a bulbous head form and a frilly lower body that gives them the appearance of a dark bluish-black hanky of some sort. Their only major features include a wide mouth on their head form, a pair of eyes with light blue sclera, purple irises and yellow pupils, and a large horn that adorns the top of their head form. Their evolved form, Banette, have a radically different form that seems to resemble a plushie doll, with a grey fuzzy outer body, small legs and toes, a pair of long arms with 3 small claw indentations at the very end, and a small yellow tail with a spiked bulbous end. Their head has a long extension of material in the back like a wispy ponytail of sorts, with black eyes with glowing red sclera, as well as a golden zipper mouth and tag that opens on its own whenever they speak. It is further noted that these beasts have access to a Mega Evolved form, and in this state, their lower bodies and hands bulge outward as a series of new zippers form on the lower torso, hands, and face, the interiors of the feet and hands becoming exposed to reveal bright magenta flesh and a series of 3 massive claws on their hands, granting them an overall gruesome appearance to all that see them.
Although Shuppet initially possess a fairly solid physical body, they tend to follow the principles of ghost types like Ghastly and Haunter, in that they prefer to keep their bodies as light and molecularly weak as possible in order to bring out the best of their spiritual powers.
However, they are noticeably different from other ghost types in that their special abilities are only average in comparison, because the spiritual powers are primarily focused towards amplifying their physical strength and techniques. As such, Shuppet possess greater physical strength than most other young ghost types, but are hampered by relatively low HP, weak defenses, and limited mobility. Considering that they don't really begin to learn many offensive attacks until more than midway through their life, this can make Shuppet a somewhat difficult choice for trainers to deal with early on. Even so, Shuppet have a lot of potential and do naturally learn moves like Screech that can help make them better combatants in the long run, or at least until they manage to evolve into Banette. While Banette follow this trend in having fairly high physical attack damage, their real specialty lies in laying curses on others. Many ghost-type Pokemon are able to use the devastating curse technique naturally in that context, but Banette take it one step further in that they actively damage not only the body, but also the connection between their spirit and the physical body to inflict pain. This is usually done by piercing the exterior portions of the body with a pin energized with anti-positive energy, which they are naturally weak to. The resulting outflow of spiritual energy is so massive that it can cause instant death within small rodents with only a few minutes of infliction, and most humans within a few weeks. However, because their curses are equally damaging to themselves, Banette will only resort to inflicting curses in desperate situations, instead preferring to rely on powerful moves like Feint Attack, Sucker Punch, and Phantom Force to inflict damage. It is also noted that many people claim that opening the zipper mouth of a Banette will force the spirit within to leave, but this is not true. In fact, Banette can't open their mouths freely without such a thing ever happening. However, this does weaken the connection between the contained spirit and the physical body, so such feats can usually only be done for a few minutes at a time.
Together, these creatures are known to spend most hours of the day active, and can be very difficult to put in a resting state, which is made only worse by the fact that they tend to be kleptomaniacs, resulting in them having access to insomnia and frisk as base abilities, while those whose forms are overly charged with spiritual energy can also have cursed body as a hidden ability.
As far as the stats are concerned in the case of Banette, as noted already, these creatures are able to strike back forcefully more so than one might expect, resulting in the base attack stat being above average for a fully evolved ghost-type Pokemon, but their powers are otherwise rather lacking in terms of combat effectiveness, with all the remaining base stats being below average for a fully evolved Pokemon of their type, in turn often forcing them to rely on tricks and or dirty tactics in order to take down any opponent they are put up against. While many ghost types have to feed on pure spiritual energy or some sort of neutral emotion like fear to survive, Shuppet are relatively unique in that they can survive off of negative emotions alone by concentrating them within the horn on their heads and processing them internally as a single packet of energy. In particular, Shuppet seem to heavily enjoy emotions such as sadness, hatred, envy, malice, and vengefulness because they are apparently the easiest to process in a concentrated form. At night, Shuppet will often leave their natural territory and seek out individuals that are giving off large amounts of these negative emotions. Since Shuppet are not territorial or have any trouble sharing, it is not uncommon to see large swarms of these creatures flitting about, especially within large cities where the number of people present is staggering. Once they find a suitable target, Shuppet will wait under the eaves of houses to make sure there is no chance of being attacked before quickly moving into the house and absorbing the ambient negative emotions present, leading to the creation of the proverb, "Shun the house where Shuppet gather in the growing dusk." If they are pressed to, Shuppet may even go so far as to float right next to the source of the negative emotions and absorb them directly. Shuppet will only usually stop at a particular place once in a while to let the negative emotions naturally build up over time, but if the occupant of a home produces enough negative emotions in a single day, repeated trips may become common to the point where Shuppet will simply camp out in the shade of the home and wait for night to fall. Thankfully, Shuppet do not physically harm their prey because they only absorb negative energy that has already been released, and in fact this removal of such energy tends to help clear the minds of victims and make life more comfortable for all affected, but their presence can nonetheless be quite unnerving.
Similar to Shedinja, it is said in Hoenn folklore that Banette are not truly complete spirits, but merely spirits occupying some sort of physical vessel. In their case, a stuffed doll.
Free spirits normally need something to anchor themselves onto in order to sustain themselves without completely physical bodies, but it can't just be any object. The object has to be infused with a certain degree of spiritual or negative emotional energy for a proper connection to be established. As Hoenn legends state, these free spirits sometimes come across dolls that have been carelessly or even purposefully thrown away by the owners for some reason or another. Even though the owner might not have any negative connotations towards the object, the doll still manages to accumulate some negative and spiritual energy regardless, though the exact reason why is still being researched at this time. These energized dolls can then be possessed by free spirits, who in turn alter the doll's physical structure so as to make it more accepting of the spirit's form, resulting in the creation of a Banette. Although they have no real need to do so, Banettes seek out the former owners of the physical form, going through garbage dumps and houses at night in search of any clues that may lead them to their target. Since Banette do not inherit any direct memories from the physical body, they effectively are starting from scratch every time this is done. Most Banette never manage to actually find the owner, but those that do are relentless in their vengeance. In most cases, serious illness and even death can result from their punishment, though specific ailments vary widely. It is said, though, that if a Banette is treated well, it may work to ease its resentment and satisfy it, turning it back into a harmless doll again and ultimately preventing its wrath from ever being inflicted.
It is lastly noted that Banette is one of only a select number of Pokemon known to be capable of undergoing the process of Mega Evolution.
With a Banette in hand, Mega Evolution provides these creatures the unique opportunity to completely and utterly release the power they have inside of them. While Banette can usually open their mouths for a few minutes at a time, most of their natural raw power is contained within the raggedy doll body they possess, and thus are unable to fully express their raw spiritual power in battle. In Mega Evolution, however, these beasts are temporarily fused directly to the body that they possess, causing them to grow larger and form zippers all along their form as the true spectral form emerges from their body, specifically their lower torso and hands. With their full power now accessible, Mega Banette can finally utilize their curse-inflicting powers to the maximum without holding back for any reason at all. Though due to the immense power that they are ultimately given access to, they cannot fully control their amplified powers and often end up cursing everything and everyone near them, including their own trainers. Moreover, their vindictiveness increases substantially in this state, leading them to seek revenge on every soul that ever wronged them without a shred of mercy to be found. In terms of stats, this unleashing of power slightly increases Mega Banette's base defense, special attack, and speed stats, moderately increases their base special defense stat, and astronomically increases their base attack stat. In turn, they gain the highest base attack stat out of all Ghost-type Pokemon. Moreover, in fully revealing their absolute power, Banette become more sinister and psychotic in their actions, and are able to deftly manipulate others with their spiritual powers almost like a puppeteer, all the while unleashing devastating curses and other status-inflicting moves so effectively that their ability becomes prankster. Mega Banette may share with their normal form a severe limitation in regards to the types of attacks they can learn, but given the immense amount of raw power they possess in this form, such weaknesses are worth nothing and no one, human and Pokemon alike, is truly safe from their wrath.
Okay, whatever divine entity thought it was a good idea to have haunted doll Pokemon of any sort really should have gotten a peer review on it. But Shuppet and Banette exist, so here we are with all of it. Honestly, I have no issue with Shuppet on their own, as the diet of negative emotional energy actually does some good for others in clearing it out of a space, which can give people the chance to finally breathe a little and think over their lives. I know from experience that trying to tackle a difficult project when you've got negative thoughts from something else lingering is very hard and often makes it difficult to do anything right. So having a few of these creatures floating around can do some good. Banette, though? Yeah, no thank you. I love plush dolls and have a few of my own, and I always make sure to take good care of them and appreciate them, if only to avoid them ever coming back to attack me as one of these plush monsters. Toys and plushies of all sorts are meant to bring happiness to children and make the world feel special when the grind of reality might otherwise harm them emotionally. But those toys and plushies also have their own history and can feel too, even if not in a direct manner. The way in which these fiends latch onto the negative feelings of pain and abandonment on discarded dolls is creepy and really rubs me the wrong way, but I can say that I honestly pity them more than I fear them. All they want is to be loved, and here they are, transformed because they were deemed to be not valuable enough to keep around. It's honestly heartbreaking to me and makes me appreciate them all the more. So if you have the chance, give the things that made your childhood special plenty of love, or your inaction may literally come back to haunt you.
Nasty to run into without proper protection and a grudge on their side. The members of the Shuppet family are potent ghosts that will gladly haunt your waking life into the future for as long as they desire. You might not be the victim of their assaults if you keep watch over your most precious belongings, but if that is not the case, only serious mental fortitude will be able to protect you from their terrifying curses.
As such, do yourself a favor and make peace with the toys and plushies you loved as a child and give them to someone that will take care of them, if not to ensure that they never come back to haunt you, then to make sure you're not the target when revenge and terrifying torment becomes their only goal in the afterlife.
Thank you for watching this video. It brings me great joy to be able to speak to you all in the world each and every time we meet like this, to explore the many different facets of both the world of Pokemon as we know it, and the world as we live it, through every adventure we have with Pokemon by our side. If you'd like to, please subscribe, ring the bell and all that jazz, to keep yourself updated on content uploads and other materials of the like. You can also follow me on Twitter if you'd like to know right away when something new is uploaded, and my written works, from which most of this is based on, can be found on DeviantArt. Links to both can be found in the description down below. Remember that the world of Pokemon is a place full of wonder and mystery, and you never know what to expect. So, stay vigilant, keep watch, and always be prepared for the unexpected. Until next time, trainers and friends of all sorts, have a wonderful time.